What's up, y'all? Welcome to the show. I'm Lemar. That's LJ. What the hell are we talking about today?
Let me tell you something, brother. We're talking about WrestleMania. Nah, we're not talking about WrestleMania. Um, we're gonna talk about what's on every sports fan's mind, which is Kobe winning the world champion. No,
You're a fool.
it's Magic Johnson quitting the Lakers right after he just had a 3 hour meeting with Jeannie Buss the previous day. He didn't tell his employer he was leaving. Now I have sympathy for Magic Johnson because I did the exact same thing a couple months ago, and my employer still doesn't like me because of that, so I can never go back. So I understand he didn't want to disappoint her, but the right thing to do was to tell Jeannie Buss, like, pull her to the side, like, listen, I'm not having fun here. I want to go back to my old life, which is what he cried and said he wanted to do. He wanted to go back to his old life. You know, he's a very wealthy person. He likes to go on these trips. He goes on boat trips at the south of France for months with Samuel Jackson.
Hmm.
So um, he basically didn't let anybody know. He didn't let LeBron know, and I have zero sympathy for LeBron in this case. What's in this case? I mean, what's LeBron going to do? He's like, "What do you mean he left it didn't tell me?" He was like, "That's unprofessional. You can't just leave an organization without telling everyone involved before you leave." What can he say? Really, what can he say? So then I just I have sympathy for um, Jeannie Buss. I don't care about I don't care about Laker fans. I really don't care about them. They won multiple championships. They won 10 championships in my lifetime. So I could care less about the Laker fans. Now you know what a dysfunctional organization looks like. Okay. Now you're dealing with what Knicks fans had to deal with for a long time. All right, and it's just going to get worse. It ain't going to get better. It's just going to get worse. But the good thing about the Lakers team is they have good owner. Jeannie Buss is a good owner. So I think that they'll recover. But behind the scenes, I'm hearing a lot of different reports about Rob Pelinka, and I guess he will be the general manager of a team.
Yeah, they say he's definitely going to stay as general manager.
But what I heard was Magic Johnson was going to fire that guy.
Really?
I heard Magic Johnson was going to fire him, and as soon as he went to go fire him, as soon as he inquired about firing Rob Pelinka, he was stonewalled. Like, no, you shouldn't do that. And Rob Pelinka doesn't have the very best reputation in the league, so I think that he didn't really get along with Rob Pelinka because, for another thing I heard that Magic didn't really show up to a lot of this, stuff, a lot of team things. You know, he wasn't there every day, and Rob Pelinka would go to the gym and say, "Hey, Magic, anybody look for Magic?" But he know Magic wasn't there. He'll go to the gym and say, "Hey, anybody see Magic? Anybody see Magic?" He's just like
Oh,
trying.
wow.
He's just trolling Magic at that
Right.
point. So so
Um,
yeah, so yeah, Magic probably had enough of that.
yeah. Now me, I'm actually pretty disappointed in Magic. Like, I I'm not gonna have a problem with him being overwhelmed with the job. If that's what you want to do, you step down. But I don't like the fact that he couldn't even face her. Like, from what I heard, he didn't even. He said somebody gonna have to tell her because I can't tell it to her face. I was just like, damn, like that is unprofessional. That ain't right. How you do that? Like, especially since he's like he is the Lakers. You know what I mean? Like, he's not just a guy who had the job. He's Magic Johnson. Like, you can't do it like that. That's one. And two, I really felt like when the going got tough, you just bailed. Like, like, yeah, like, I understand everybody loves Magic and he likes the fact that everybody loves him. He's that figure in LA. He's that figure everywhere. Everybody loves Magic no matter where you go. Everybody loves Magic. Like, I never heard anybody ever say they don't like Magic Johnson. You know what I mean? Like, everybody loves Magic. So I guess he couldn't deal with the fact that he was being criticized and people actually did not like the things that he was doing. Which overall I don't think he was doing anything so terrible. He just, like,
No, that organization was a dumpster fire, and it was his fault.
Um,
Yeah, that the organization was a dumpster fire, and the way the players that he put around LeBron, that was just terrible. I mean, the dude went to a championship with less, with no talent. He can't make the playoffs now. You have
right,
two more wins than you did last season
right. But
without LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't. He's you know what I'm saying? Like, I would put that blame on him. Like a lot of people are blaming LeBron for this. Um, I don't know if LeBron's to blame for him leaving. I don't. As LeBron said, he didn't. He said he was shocked and he's surprised. But I don't. I don't believe anything that comes from LeBron's camp. I just don't believe anything that comes from his camp at all. It won't surprise me if he has something that he has a role in this. It wouldn't surprise me even in the least bit because just something about him. He's just a behind the scenes dick kind of.
yeah,
So
I can go with that. But like my thing was with the Magic thing. I think personally, yeah, as a as an organization, they're struggling right now. And personally, I thought if he didn't get hurt, they would have made the playoffs. That's for one. I think that broke all the momentum that they had, and two, I think the Pelicans Lakers mess kind of made the Lakers players, kind of upset and angry or whatever the case, and that kind of messed up the chemistry. But to me, I don't think that's Magic. I think part of that was LeBron and his camp, and New Orleans muddying up that trade. That was one thing, and so that made the players, feel a certain way. Plus the fact that LeBron didn't embrace his players, or you know what I mean, he kind of just kept them at arm's distance because he knew he was expecting them to get traded. So I think so for me, that's not a Magic thing. Like I don't think now when you talk about the roster at the beginning of the season, I think that there wasn't anything out there to sign. So they said we'll just get a bunch of veterans, put around them, and next year or during we're gonna try to trade for Davis at some point, and next year all the free agents are coming.
Well, that's on Magic. You know what I'm saying? Like that, they had Lonzo. They sat here and got Rondo.
But it's not his fault that those guys got injured, and that LeBron, not just LeBron got injured. A lot of players got injured this year.
Well, it's his fault that he didn't put better teammates around him that fit that team. He put a bunch of play. We talked about this earlier,
right? But I don't think there was a lot out there to put together.
Well, that's the thing. Like you don't know until you try for it. You know what I'm saying? Like he put a bunch of players that didn't fit around LeBron, and then he did that thing where he what do you call it? He tampered earlier on in the season, and that got him suspended or something for a little bit.
He got him fined.
I think he got a little bit more than just a fine. There was some type of censor they gave him or something. I know the political word for it, censor, but I'm not sure what the NBA terminology is for what the NBA levied upon Magic Johnson for tampering. He wanted to work with Ben Simmons in the early season. Like
no. Ben Simmons reached out to him. He asked for permission, and Elton Brand said no. So that wasn't him either.
Well, what you go? Now he's not your team, Magic.
But again, he didn't reach out. Ben Simmons reached out to him.
But Ben Simmons can reach out to anybody. All you have to do is say no. All you have to do is say no. Put your hands up and say, okay, I'm a Laker. Ben Simmons doesn't reach out to any other players, you know what I'm saying? But any other former players that are part of the 76ers or free agents. But Magic is working as an executive for the Lakers.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? Like he can reach out, but Magic, he knows that he is a Laker. He knows that he is an executive now. He can't just go out and do whatever and help young guys because they're not part of the franchise.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like that'll be considered tampering. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why he got permission, and not only that, There's nothing wrong with that because maybe he can try
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, no, listen. No, but what I'm saying is, let's say he does it. Let's say Elton Brand's okay with it. Then that's his then he gets a free pass to recruit him. You know what I
mean? No, Elton Brand knows better than that.
I know, but
listen. Ben Simmons is a young, stupid kid. He doesn't know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's 21, 22. Right. He doesn't know. Right. So he's gonna reach out and say any stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? But Elton Brand knows better. Elton Brand's around our age. He knows better. And Magic Johnson's like 15, 16 years old and us. Has been in the NBA for almost 40 years. He definitely knows better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but nothing came about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why would Magic Johnson even you know what I'm saying?
Because then he could recruit him without getting in trouble.
If Elton Brand did it, he'd get fired. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. If Magic Johnson did it, the Lakers organization would the 76ers organization would charge the Lakers with tampering, and they'll probably give up a draft pick.
Look, if he gets permission to do it, if he caught,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what Elton Brand said. Elton Brand could be a moron and say, "Hey, I give him permission," and then he does it, and then the other's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like,
well, then that's on Elton Brand. That's on him. That's not on Magic.
So if I'm the team president, like he's still representing my company, I'll fire him, and I'll still I'll fire that dude.
And they can still try.
Stupid like that, but the Lakers, I'll go to the NBA and like okay, Elton Brand is not working in my best interest. I think that there's some collusion going on between Elton Brand and Magic Johnson. We fired this guy. He's a moron. He knows what he's doing. I want him punished. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only thing that they can do, the only thing the 76ers do as an organization is say, I want them punished. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, it's wild, wild west out here. I'll bring Allen Iverson to go talk to Lonzo Ball. Like, come on out to the 76ers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild, wild west out here. So it's not.
But to me, that still doesn't fall on Magic. To me,
that does fall on Magic because he shouldn't even ask. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Elton Brand saved his job by saying no.
Right.
But
I mean, it was an obvious no. It should be an obvious no to Elton Brand.
You know what I'm saying? But Magic Johnson, if he would have said yes, he could have cost the 76ers, the Lakers more than just having his job. They fired Magic Johnson. Who gives a fuck? He don't want that job anyway. He can cost the organization draft picks. They can do a Joe Smith type of thing and cost them 2 first-round picks for that dumb shit.
But I think if you get permission, I think that nixes that.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't nix anything. Doesn't nix anything.
Okay.
Because the Lakers, because they know what they're doing. This guy, he's not working in my best interest.
Well, so, Magic doesn't necessarily know what he's doing, and like Magic is still new to this. Also,
that is no excuse. Ignorance is no excuse.
Right? No, I understand, but I'm just going by what you said. You said they know what they're doing. They don't necessarily know what they're doing. So I'm just going by what you're saying. But
yeah, but like,
all right, cool.
If you don't know, you better ask somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, all right.
There are people within your.
I don't know how that works. I just thought that if you did give him permission, then that absolves him from getting in trouble.
Not work out with players can talk to each other.
Right.
Players can do whatever the fuck they want. They get permission to do whatever the fuck they want. And that's probably going to end real soon too.
Yeah, that's probably going to end soon too.
They're probably going to make up some rule. Whatever LeBron gets out of this league,
they really can't though. They really can't. Like they could try, but they really can't. I know they want to. I really don't think they can do that.
But they'll come up with some rule. They got a lot of people who are smart, but
I can't see anything they can come up with.
When you got guys who are part of an organization, they'll just call you a team employee. And if you start recruiting on behalf of that team, they can find your organization.
I mean, maybe not public. You probably can't publicly do it, but what's stopping them from privately calling a guy?
Well, what you call okay, you can call, but then what if somebody finds out you called? What if somebody's recording you? You know what I'm saying? Then like, all right, got you. You know what I'm saying? I'll send it to NBA office.
All right, fine. All right. So what's stopping them from going to dinner when they're in town, playing each other, and doing their own thing? Like, They cannot stop the players from talking to each other. They just can't.
The players can talk to each other, but they can't talk about. They can't talk.
And
about
they're not gonna be able to stop that unless somebody tells on the like you said. Unless it's in that situation, I mean, you really can't avoid it. You can make them do it secretly. That's the only thing you can do. Make them.
What you go? Then you have to have. Then like there's going to become a game of I'm recording you doing this. I'm recording you doing that. If player A plays for the Knicks and he's saying, okay, I want to recruit this guy from Oklahoma City. So okay, I'm gonna call this guy from Oklahoma City. Blah blah blah, and they can have somebody listening in or his agent and try to get rid of a pick. Maybe he's like, I never had any intention of going to New York. I just want to hurt them. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care about that team. I just want to hurt them.
Yeah, I don't see players doing that though. I mean, I wouldn't put it past anybody, but I don't really see players doing that to each other. I mean, because in most cases it's gonna be, but in most cases they're gonna be friends anyway. They're gonna be talking. They're gonna be cool. I'm like players are. There's a lot of players that are friends with each other. So I don't see.
Agents are friends with each other too.
Huh?
Agents are friends,
right? But they're not in the same cities, in the same towns, talking to each other all the time. The players are definitely gonna run into each other all the time because they're playing against each other.
And executives are gonna run into each other all the time because they're always traveling with the team.
Yeah, but
agents always talking like you know what I'm saying. They run in the same circles just because you physically see.
But it's different. It's still different because
just because you physically see players playing against.
Yeah, but executives don't want to work with each other. Players want to play with each other. It's a different type of dynamic. Like executives aren't gonna.
They just don't want to make money with each other.
Yeah, but they're not. They're not.
It's business.
Right.
Of course, they're gonna make money with each other.
It's not the same though.
There's even more. There's even more of a motivation for agents to collude in order to do this or do that for some business deal behind the scenes. There's even more of a reason than.
Can you give me an example? Because I'm really not understanding.
You know what I'm saying? Players want to get together because they want to win a championship.
Right.
Agents will try to make themselves way more money. So if agents can hook up to where it benefits them, they'll do that.
But I don't know how. I don't know how though. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how that
general
works.
Managers, anybody like this agent from this team and this general manager from that team, like this agent whoever manages Devin Booker. You know what I'm saying? Say he's really close with the GM from Orlando. They may be really cool with each other, and he's just like, and the Suns really want to keep Devin Booker, but he's just like, you know what? I like this guy. I like this guy better than this team. So he's going to work for his best interest for his friends, and that's called collusion. You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this is going to happen because, you know what I'm saying, then you get into real murky territory where nobody's talking to anybody until like training season is going. But there are things that happen even behind the scenes that we don't know about now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm sure there is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there are agent relationships that we don't know anything about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That we don't know all the agents. We just know about Rob Pelinka because he's a general manager of the Lakers now. But there's plenty of agents who've been around for decades who've done all types of shady shit to get players.
I'm sure, yeah, I don't doubt that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an agent for Charles Barkley who does not like the Knicks, and but you remember the year that we got Larry Johnson, right? Mm-hmm. You know that was supposed to be Charles Barkley, right?
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I just recently heard about that.
But the agent doesn't like the Knicks, so you think that's right? It's not right. And Barkley wanted to play with Patrick Ewing. He said he wanted to play with Patrick Ewing. He wanted to win a championship. Do you think we would have had a bad shot of winning a championship with Barkley than we did with Larry Johnson?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What year?
96.
96.
The year that Barkley went to Houston instead of New York.
Yeah, he was.
And at that point, Akeem Olajuwon was declining hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he he wasn't good anymore.
You was close to. You was about a year away from that, right?
You was still doing 20-10 at that point.
But he was about a year away from when he got the Achilles injury, right?
Yeah, but in '99, if we would have went to a championship with them in '99, you think we would? You think we would have had a chance? Well, if Ewing would have played, we would have had a chance.
Right.
If Ewing and Barkley would have played against Duncan and Robinson,
we would have had a chance. We would
have had a shot. We would have had a shot.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? A rumor is this agent doesn't like New York. This agent doesn't like the fucking doesn't like the owner of the Knicks.
Right.
So that's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? So we get into real murky water when it comes to agents talking to each other and players talking to each other.
Yeah.
So I guess we can move on from that.
All right, so we'll get into LeBron. We'll stay with the same team. We'll get into LeBron. So now they're saying that he's having trouble casting players for Space Jam. They're supposed to be filming this summer or whatever. So they said, I don't know if they got what they needed now, but at some point they were saying that he's having trouble. And
Giannis said he didn't want to.
Right, he
didn't want to miss 2 weeks of workouts.
Right,
which is he's saying, so fuck you, LeBron.
Oh well, he said a lot more than that. He said that's not really his thing. He said he just likes to play basketball. He said he's not into the drama and the star stuff. He's like in the Hollywood stuff. That's not him. He's like he loves to play basketball and that's all he wants to do. So, but that's consistent with what he's been saying the past year or so about about the type of player he is. Like he talks about how he wants to stay in Milwaukee and win the championship there. He talks about how he doesn't care about the MVP. He just wants to play basketball. He's like he is whether you want to believe it or not. That's been consistent with his personality. Every time I hear him talk, he doesn't talk much, and that's another thing. He doesn't really talk much. Like he you see him play basketball, and that's what he wants to do. All he talks about is basketball. He doesn't talk about nothing off the court. All he talks about is wanting to win with Milwaukee, and you know. So I don't look at that as him saying "F you, LeBron" or anything like that. Now, the rumors I have been hearing is that they don't want that players basically don't want to be his flunky. They don't want to be on in the movie. You know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah, that's what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like when Michael Jordan did that stupid movie Space Jam like 20-something years ago, that I've never watched, and I don't know why people look upon this movie as some great accomplishment.
I seen it, and it was just an okay movie. It wasn't that great. Like I'm hearing all of a sudden now that it's a classic. I'm like, no, the hell it ain't.
I don't understand what the fascination is with these fucking kids with that stupid movie. It's a dumb movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I have no compulsion to watch that movie. I have no compulsion to watch LeBron's movie. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just going to. I guess he's going to play Michael Jordan in this movie.
Yeah, he's going to play that role.
And do these kids even know who the fucking Bugs Bunny is now? They don't even have Bugs Bunny.
Right? Like I mean, put it like this. I kind of get them wanting to redo it, but I wasn't. But again, I didn't consider the first one a classic. I mean, it's just one of them things that they would just want to redo a movie and do it with the next great player that's in the league now. Like whatever. Like I get the mentality. I get it. I'm just not. Like I was listening to Colin Cowherd and Joy Taylor was like that. It was a classic movie. And I'm like, since when? Like even when it came out, I didn't care to watch it. I watched it when it was like on cable or something. I didn't watch it in movies. I didn't watch it when it first hit video. I watched it like just matter of factly. You know what I mean? It was like it was on TV and I watched it. Like it wasn't nothing that I cared to watch. And I
can't get through it.
I don't remember. I don't remember if I got through it. I don't remember much about the movie. I remember when they took the powers of Barkley and Ewing and them, and they were acting like they were dumb or whatever, like because they had took their powers. And it like I saw that. That's the only thing I remember. Like I don't remember much about it. I remember Bugs Bunny was recruiting Michael Jordan, and I don't remember a whole lot of it. Like I don't think it was a classic movie. Like it was just
it's a stupid kids movie. And at the time when it came out, I was a teenager. What
was that in the mid-90s?
Yeah, it came out late '96, right before they won the championship.
Okay.
Right before they started winning again.
So that also explains why I had no reason to want to watch it, because I didn't care about that type of stuff. By the time I was 16.
Yeah, I mean the best thing about the movie was the soundtrack, which was pretty much '90s all around.
Right, straight '90s.
You know what I'm saying?
The best of '90s type music. The '90s mixed music. It reminds you of that.
It was I Believe I Can Fly.
Yeah.
Which won a bunch of Oscars.
Yeah.
Which Kelly has an Oscar.
But outside of that, it just wasn't that.
You're killing me, man.
But he's still out there. But yeah, like I don't know. I just didn't understand. Now, as far as the players playing, wanting to be in it, yeah, LeBron, I think is so high on a pedestal that nobody wants to be under that anymore. Like nobody wants to be around that anymore. You know what I mean?
Nobody really. I think that people don't really fuck with LeBron. You know what I'm saying?
That's another thing. I'm starting to realize that people ain't feeling
really have like a real fond relationship. Right. They don't really think of LeBron the same way people like thought of Michael Jordan. Right. You know what I'm saying? Even though like Michael Jordan was a dick, like he still has his friends that he keeps around. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like Patrick Ewing is his friend.
I don't think they're friends anymore either.
They're friends.
Oh, they are. Him and Barkley's not friends.
Him and Barkley were friends. I'm not sure what their relationship is.
They're not.
Now.
They're not friends.
Well, they're not friends anymore, but they were friends at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he had his little circle of friends. So, like LeBron, his circle of friends are all retired. You know what I'm saying? Or like on their last leg. So who cares about like Chris Paul in the movie and
his time,
Carmelo Anthony.
Right, he needed those young stars. He needed guys like Harden and Giannis
and they don't want to play.
They're not going to do that, right? They're bigger than they're like I ain't gonna say they're bigger than him, but they're better than him right now. You know what I mean? Like or getting to that point because they're the younger, and this is their time. You know what I mean? Like it's their time. So I ain't gonna say they're better, but it's their time. You know what I mean? Like so they don't want to. They don't want to be LeBron's flunky. They don't want to be the guy that LeBron's the leader and they're the follower. It's just not like you said. His era, they're all retiring before him. So like he's and they're all at the back at the end of their career. So
it's kind of like if like Karl Malone, he wasn't gonna do that fucking Space Jam movie,
right?
Because he was still competing with Michael Jordan for championships.
Right. Who did it? It was Barkley, Ewing, and who else? I can't remember who else.
George Mirasan. I don't remember. It's a stupid fucking movie. I think it was. It always like.
Was Muggsy Bogues one too?
Stupid movie. Huh?
Wasn't Muggsy Bogues in it too?
I think so. They put Muggsy Bogues in everything.
Yeah, I think it was Muggsy, Barkley, Ewing, Mirasan, and one other person.
Maybe Glenn.
Oh no, that was it. Jordan would have been Jordan is 5, so that's it. And Bugs Bunny, I guess. But
and what you called Donald Foyle? I don't know.
Donald Foyle. Wow. Where's Jason Williams? the one that shot his.
He's fine now. He's out of prison. He's been out of prison for a long time.
Like he just said, you know what? I'm just gonna go home. And never be seen.
Yeah, that's what he needed to do. Just like they embarrassed him. Well, he shouldn't.
Because remember how happy and joyful he used to be before all of that happened.
Before he killed his fucking limo driver.
Yeah,
playing around with guns.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. I hope he's all right.
Why would you play around with a loaded fucking shotgun? I don't understand it. Like, why would you
do the dumbest fucking things, man?
Oh my god! Like it's loaded. What the fuck are you thinking?
People just do the dumbest things. Like I don't understand. Like there are things that I just will never understand. Like, and no matter how many stories you hear about people getting shot while playing with guns, there's still grown ass men like him that's still gonna do it, and that's still gonna fucking make hurt somebody. It's just I don't get it. But anyway, anyway, one day we're gonna just talk about all the fucking tragic sports stories. But all right, so we'll go
Who's next?
to We could talk about Wade retiring, Dirk
Whatever's going on in her
retiring.
background.
Say it again. Oh, you can hear it back there. I don't know.
Yeah.
She might be on. She might be on doing her own YouTube right now.
Okay.
It's my wife back there. All right, so we can talk about Wade retiring and Dirk retiring. So Dirk did announce that he's retiring. I guess he had no choice. Huh?
He finally announced it.
Right. He had no choice. They gave him a farewell. He was like, "Well, I can't come back now. Everybody's putting me in a wheelchair."
If that were me, I wouldn't even say nothing. So I report to camp.
Right. I wouldn't say shit all summer. I would just report. It was like, we balling or what? They were looking at Mark Cuban like, yo.
And what you go, Porzingis be out there? I'm like, I'm starting. You know that,
right? He would be like, yo, you gonna be a good backup this year, KP. Nah, I don't think Dirk was starting anyway. Dirk was already coming up the bench. But yeah. So yeah, they both retired. They had a nice little. I didn't see Dirk's thing. I know they had him crying. I didn't see what they did for him. They just showed him crying.
I didn't see him crying. I saw him just in the spotlight. But for their last games, they Dwayne Wade had 30, and it wasn't a hard 30. Like, he didn't shoot like 30 shots to get 30 points. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He hit a few threes, and to be honest, he could play a couple more seasons.
Right, as a role player, right? He could be a good role player, or even a 6-man.
But he just doesn't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, so if he wants to leave, that's fine. Dirk, he's the best international player ever. That's not hyperbole. It's not debatable. Yeah, it's not debatable.
Right. Yeah. As far as like the Wade's thing, I saw his video that they played in the arena. Budweiser also did a commercial and did a thing for him that I didn't get to watch the whole thing, where they was like, we got 5 more jerseys for you to exchange or whatever. So basically, from what I heard, there was I think his mom was one of the people where she talked about how the man he became, and somebody that had got killed in a tragedy. Somebody in that family had talked to, because he had did something for that family. So they came out and they said something nice about, like he was talking to these people face to face, whatever. They were like coming out. He didn't know who was gonna come out, whatever. So I don't know. I didn't get to finish watching it. I was trying to watch it today while I was like working, but I've never got around back to getting. I totally forgot up until now. To finish watching it, but it was basically and I was listening to. And the only reason why I knew about that was because I was listening to Colin Cowherd from yesterday, and he said he's actually like crying, tearing up on the air watching it, and they make it like his staff was making fun of him because they're like, yo, who are you? Like, because he don't never show that type of emotion, so he's actually like tearing up. So I was like, well, let me check it out. If it made this guy cry, let me check it out. But I didn't get a chance to watch it, so I'm gonna watch it probably after this. Yeah, so I mean, where do you rank those two guys, like, in all time?
Well, Dwayne Wade is like one of the, as far as shooting guards go, D-Wade would be probably my third behind Kobe and MJ.
Right.
Well, as far as power forwards go, Dirk Nowitzki, I still would put Duncan, Malone, Barkley.
Who? Talk a little louder. Sound like you low now.
Yeah, I said as far as my power forwards go, I would put Duncan, Malone, Barkley,
KG,
and KG over him.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I put him right around that KG. Like I still flip flop back and forth between him and KG. To me, it used to not be close, but we talked about it a couple weeks ago that to me it's a lot closer now. But yeah, I put him and KG in that same right around 4 or 5 after Duncan. I'm sure there's probably people that we never saw that's worthy, but as far as the people that we saw, that's definitely the top 5. So and I still don't like to put Duncan in there because I'd rather put him in the center category, but he was a power forward
his entire career. And we had this discussion if he would have played center, like if he would have got drafted any other team, besides like the teams that were dominant centers at the
Right.
time. But
Right.
if you get drafted by another team, like say like the Nets got the number one pick, which they
Right.
almost did,
Right.
then he would have been a center.
Or Boston.
Boston they really wanted him,
Yeah.
and yeah, it really disappointed them when they didn't.
Yeah. Didn't they tank for him?
You know what it feels like. It feels like this year.
Right. Because they tanked, right?
They tanked.
Them and the Spurs tanked. The Spurs won.
The Spurs tanked. They just didn't put David Robinson in, even though
they tanked the second half of the season. Once they realized, they was like, you know what, this is a lost season. Let's just fucking tank the rest of it. So like they didn't go into the season tanking like Boston did.
Boston went full tank. They traded players away. They lured Patino from Kentucky,
right?
After he just won a national championship that season, the season before. So, and when it came out, they got like the 5th pick. I feel their pain because I have that dread coming into me right now.
Yeah, once I saw that we got like a almost 50% chance to get the 5th pick, I was like, ugh, I don't like it.
That's why shouldn't we get a 50% chance to get the number 1 pick? I don't understand why tanking is frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it shouldn't be.
Well, I understand why they don't like it, but I think you should just
everyone does it.
You should just roll with it and just, I mean, I would say this. I would say, if anything, if you're gonna do anything, just lock in the worst 3 teams as definitely the worst 3. Make it a lottery between those 3 teams. If anything, don't make it so they can get a 4th or 5th pick. Make it the worst 3 teams have a chance to get either the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd pick. But lock them into those 3 spots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I say it. Like, if you don't want to just straight up do it like the NFL, at least lock the worst 3 teams into the worst 3 picks. Because they are still bad. You know what I
mean? That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the draft now, and Boston had 2 top 10 picks. They had number 3 and number 6. And San Antonio had number 1. Philly had number 2. Philly chose Keith Van Horn. And for number 3, Boston, they actually chose Chauncey Billups, so it wasn't a bad pick.
Yeah, but he didn't pan out for them like he panned out for Detroit.
He didn't.
Matter of fact, there was a lot of teams in between Boston and Detroit before he finally hit with Detroit. And then it was quite a few teams after that too. So Billups didn't even work out for a lot of teams, even before Detroit, and then after Detroit, he still moved around a lot. He worked out for Denver. He worked out for the Knicks. Pretty much after he got to Detroit, his career was a lot better. But he was moving around a lot, and
like Chauncey Billups. They drafted Chauncey Billups with the 3rd pick, and they drafted Ron Mercer with the 6th pick. And Ron Mercer. Yeah, like if I was them, I would try to package those 2. But it's a 3rd pick and the 6th pick. You got to choose somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like one person would have worked out, but neither of them worked out for them. But if you look at the 9th pick, Tracy McGrady's there.
Oof. Can't believe he went 9th.
Well, he was a high school player.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
He almost went to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
He almost went. He said he committed to Kentucky. If he would have went to Kentucky, he would have won a championship in that first year because they won a championship in '98.
Yeah.
So if he went to Kentucky, if he wouldn't have prevented them from winning a championship, which I don't think he would have prevented them from winning a championship,
right.
But maybe, you know what I'm saying, they would have won a championship, and he probably would have went number 1 overall.
or he would have got put out in the first round.
Well, that would suck. maybe he would have learned to play a playoff type of basketball if he would have played, if he went to Kentucky like you said he would.
Right. Well, I don't never blame him for them not getting out of the first round. I just think his teams weren't good enough. Like, I don't really blame him for that too much. He didn't really have great teams around him. You know what I mean? So
Well, he had that team with Yao Ming. He had good teams around him, but
Right.
like with the Orlando, like
But
he
the
almost got him
but you
done.
know what? Who they get put? But Dallas put him out, right? That
Yeah.
and Dallas was pretty good. So Dallas was really good back then, though. So he
Well,
that
they were pretty good. You know
they
what
were
I'm saying?
good, but Dallas was better. Dallas, Dallas was a real contender. Dallas, and they even went to the finals somewhere around that time. So like
No,
they were
not during that time. No, not during that time.
that,
Hold on. No,
yeah.
hold on.
Because remember they lost.
Was it 07?
Because remember they lost to
To who?
Miami somewhere around
Yeah,
that time.
that was 2006. That's right.
Yeah, so yeah, they were they were Dallas was a contender for first with Rick with Steve Nash, and then with Jason
Okay.
Kidd. So they were a contender for a while.
And when they went to the championship in 2006, Steve Nash wasn't on the team.
No, but
They had JJ
it was
Barea.
Devin Harris, wasn't it? And
No, Devin Harris was playing for New Jersey at the time. I think.
no, no,
Hey,
no, no.
no. He was coming off the bench for them.
But yeah,
He
I'm trying to
wasn't.
think of who the
He
starter
wasn't their
was.
starter.
Who was the starter?
Now,
Ah,
now you got me thinking about who the starter was.
who was the starter?
Because remember they had moved. They had to move Devin Harris. So they put him in New Jersey. Fuck.
It wasn't Jason Kidd because Jason Kidd was there the
Nah.
second time around
Yeah,
when
he
they
was.
actually won.
Jason Kidd was in New Jersey.
He
He was
was there when they
definitely
won, right? Um, who the
2005,
hell was the?
2006, Dallas.
I know Avery
Mavericks.
Johnson was the head coach.
Yeah, Avery Johnson was the coach. Don Nelson was the executive.
Yeah, and Don double N Nelson was I think was the assistant coach.
Yeah, Don Double N Nelson.
Who the hell was their point guard?
Darryl Armstrong, Doug Christie, Eric Dampier, Marquise Daniels, Dejanda's Jop,
DeJounte
Adrian
Jop.
Griffin. They had Devin Harris still.
So he must have been the starter.
Josh Howard, Benga.
I forgot about all those guys. Josh Howard and
And you see Josh Powell,
Marquise.
Hoskellin, Jerry Stackhouse. Wow. Jason Terry and Keith Van Horn. Keith Van
Jason
Horn.
Terry was with Dallas then.
Yep, he was a point guard. He was a starting point guard.
Uh,
I'll go.
no, I
I'll go
think
by
Devin
the
Harris was
too.
the starter. I think Devin Harris was the starter.
They show per game.
But
Jason Terry was a starter.
oh okay.
He was paying 35 minutes per game.
Okay.
Devin Harris was playing 22 minutes a game, and he only started 4 games.
Oh okay. All right. But yeah, how do we get there? What were we talking about?
But we were talking about. Actually, I don't know how we got there.
I know we were talking about Wade and Dirk, and I don't know. We just got so far away. But anyway, let's move on to something else. We could talk about R.J. Barrett declared for the draft, and Zion still has not declared for the draft. Are you getting nervous yet?
Zion Williams is gonna make me go down there, and I have no idea what I'm gonna do to that big motherfucker.
I am definitely getting more nervous.
I'll ask him ask him nicely, please. Could you play the play?
I know. I hope he's not waiting to see if we get the first pick. That he's like, I'm gonna come back for another year. That'd be fucked up.
I think they have to declare by a deadline. Before the lottery actually happens, which the lottery's not going to happen until almost June anyway.
Actually, it's May. I think they said this year. I think they said May 15th.
The lottery happens on May 15th.
That's what I heard. Because you got to remember the playoffs are starting early too. The playoffs usually starts 2 weeks from now. So, the playoffs, and I just found that out like the other day. I was like, oh damn, this is the end of the season, like this week. I didn't even realize it. So, and the playoffs start on Sunday. So they usually start on a Saturday, but they start on Sunday, from what I hear. So I'm like, okay, well, so they're starting
playoffs.
They're starting about 2 weeks earlier than normal. So I'm like, all right, well,
I'm actually watched some playoff games this year. I have last year, I would turn it on, and actually, I would fall asleep during the Western Conference games because it's so late.
Yeah, I want to
But I
see.
kind of
I want to. I'm interested to see how the East players are. Like, I mean, the East teams are, like, how good they really are. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how good Milwaukee is or Toronto. Like, I don't trust Toronto, even though they got a different star and a different coach. I just know what I'm used to saying, so I don't know. Boston, you can't trust them right now. Philly, I just saw a thing up here while we were talking that Embiid might not be ready to start the playoffs, so because his knee is bothering him. So I don't know. I mean, Indiana looks exactly the same with or without what's the guy who got hurt? I can't think of his name.
Oh, you're talking about
The shooting guard. Um, I can't remember his name.
Let me forget his name.
The star shooting guard, that guy. But they haven't lost a step. They were fourth when he got hurt, and they ended the season fourth. Like, they're gonna be fourth. So it's not. Or are they fifth now? I don't remember.
Oladipo.
Yeah, Victor Oladipo. Yeah. Yeah, because Philly. Oh, I'm sorry, they're fifth now. So they lost a spot. They lost one spot. Like, they were fourth and now they're fifth. I thought they were gonna fall off, but then again, there's not that many teams under those top five anyway. Like, the rest of those guys are all talent-wise the same. Detroit, Brooklyn, and whoever makes it, Orlando and Charlotte. They're all basically the same after that. Although I think Brooklyn might be a little bit better than those guys. But
Brooklyn. That's I have to talk a little bit about Brooklyn, about the Nets. When they came over here from Jersey, they thought they were going to take some of the shine away from the Knicks.
Hold on, time out. You said come over here from Jersey like you're in Brooklyn. You're in Jersey.
Well, come
you
on.
May go over there. Right, go ahead.
Yeah, they thought they were going to take some shine away from the Knicks. They're a playoff team, and they have the second worst home attendance in the league.
Wow.
Okay, in the league. Nobody cares about the Nets.
Yeah,
nobody.
It's still gonna take them a while. It's gonna take them probably another 15, 20 years. A whole new generation of fans are gonna have to come around.
I don't think it matters. You know,
they're not gonna be in the Knicks ever.
Well, like, they're not gonna be the Knicks, but New Yorkers don't care about them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have that marquee guy. And they don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Their best player is a snitch. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't really have the marquee guy that's going to, like, lead them to a championship.
And Brooklyn don't fuck with those snitches.
And when he went right from LA to you know what I'm saying? Who traded him? Was that Magic traded him?
Yeah, Magic traded him, yeah.
Well, now, that's another thing they're blaming on Magic. Oh, that he's gone and you got Lonzo, so what you go? That was a bad move.
And Julius Randle balling.
Julius Randle, you know what I'm saying? They would have kept them both. You know, that would have been a nice little landing spot for LeBron. I think we talked about that before.
But I just don't think that. I don't think that they were. I don't think they were going to be successful in LA. So.
Well, I think that he would have been successful in LA. I think.
Well, they played They played enough years there. They played 2-3 years there, and they were okay. But.
Well, what you go? They were just getting better. You know what I'm saying? They were young players. These are guys who just came out. They had a bad coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, so first thing they'll have to do is, change up a few things. But I think that they would have done well. There's nothing different in LA besides the coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing. Like, the water's different. If you're a good player, you're a good player. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, system matters for like. If you're not a superstar talent, which they're not, fit matters. If you're gonna like Brooklyn's coach is really good. He basically built the team kind of like he built that team for 3-point shooting and just movement and then once the guy got hurt, LeVert, Russell started coming into his own like immediately after that injury. Because LeVert was their leading scorer before the injury, and then Russell had to become the guy. So he started building the offense built towards what Russell does. So Russell all of a sudden started coming on. He became an all-star. But Yeah, I think it's a fit. I mean, I think you like coach. It's definitely coaching was a big thing. Now Randall, I don't know what it was with him, like because I saw
Just
I
too
saw
smart.
this. I saw him have games like that every now and then, but like since he got to New Orleans, he's been a beast. Like, and that's next to Anthony Davis. So I can't really explain that one. You know what I mean? Like that one, I don't know. Like I can see if they didn't have Anthony Davis and he was just getting all the shots, but he's playing next to Anthony Davis, so I can't even blame it on that. He's just better away from LA for whatever reason.
Well,
Uh,
he just got better. You know what I'm saying? Like that just happens sometimes. They just got better. You know what I mean? So he was going to get better regardless. Players just got better. But there's something I want to. I don't mean to like cut and run, but there's something I want to talk about. We talk about the national championship game.
yeah, we didn't get around. Yeah, I've been wanting to talk about it.
Yeah, the national championship game. College basketball sucks, and I'll tell you why. Too much defense being played, not enough points being scored. You know what I'm saying? Like both teams play full court defense the entire game. It like there's too much ball movement.
It's too much
You know what I'm
zone.
saying? What I'm saying? Not enough ISO. You're not showing the players what they can do. So you don't really get much. It's too system oriented.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't really get a gist of what guys can really do. You know what I'm saying? And Texas Tech played Virginia, and we were both looking at Jared Culver. He had a bad game against Michigan State where he came on late, and he scored 9 points late, and they won the game to lead to a national championship. And now they get to a national championship, and I want to see how he did. I was watching WrestleMania, so I didn't watch the national championship
I
game,
watched
and
it.
I was in the middle of a 7-hour marathon, so so I was just checking in on my phone to see how he was doing, and like 4 plays at 15 points. I was just like, that's so boring. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
but he particularly did not shoot well in that game. Like he was
In
over.
national championship,
Yeah, he was over 8 before he scored. He did not play well at all. But he came on late. He didn't take over the game or nothing like that. But within the flow, he scored. He ended up having to like point wise, he ended up I think around 15. But he didn't shoot well. For matter of fact, the final four combined, he was like 8 for 34. Like he just did not shoot well in those two games where I was really starting to pay attention to what he was gonna do. So that made me start understanding why nobody can really know how good he is yet, because some people got him at 4, some people got him at 14th. You know what I mean? Like people don't know.
I haven't seen him at 14.
Well, not in the mock drafts, but executives are saying like they wouldn't draft him in the top 10. Some of them saying they would. Like they don't know.
Well,
I mean, because for one,
executives say whatever they want to say.
yeah,
I don't. I never ever. I would never ever ever trust a word of an executive who's talking on camera, because
no. They weren't talk. This was like behind like what they call it when they don't say who they are, whatever. It was like that, unnamed sources or whatever, unnamed executives.
Even if they say it that way, I would trust executive. I'd rather trust guys,
Right, because they want to put out their agenda, right?
who have no skin in the game. Even if they like the guy, they'll just say, "Oh, maybe 15." You know what I'm saying?
Right, because they don't want nobody else to be on to them, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I like what I see in the guy. You know what I'm saying? He needs to he needs to work on his well, you know what I'm saying, like he's a shooting guard, so like he's not going to get easy baskets anyway. But in the NBA, they're going to be a lot easier than they are in college. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's hyper focused on him. You know what I'm saying? Plus, they were doing something that not a lot of people do nowadays. And you see Texas Tech, what do? They shoot mid-range jumpers. Who does that anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever's coaching that team, Texas Tech, I don't know the guy's name, but he plays an old school, grinded out type of basketball where, like, they're going to force shots no matter what. They're not playing iso ball. Like that ball's going to come to you.
And they're an excellent
And
defensive team.
yeah,
Excellent
yeah, that's what I'm
defensive
saying.
team.
They grind and they're going to play really good defense. You know what I'm saying? Virginia, nobody. I don't think
Also,
anybody on
excellent
that
defensive
team.
team.
I don't think anybody on that team's going to get drafted.
Well, there's one guy that they say is pretty good. Who may go late first round. I forgot his name, because he didn't shoot well either. By the way,
he'll be in the D League in no time.
he didn't shoot well either, but he hit one of them big threes that I think he's the one that hit the three to tie it up, to bring it into overtime, which I think Culver was the one that left him open. like they were down 3. All you have to do is let them go, like, cause they were gonna try to get a quick 2, and he left them open, and they took the 3. So I'm like, why'd you leave them open for a 3? Like why'd you do that? Because I was rooting for Texas Tech. I'm like, why'd you do that? But I would have been rooting as hard for Texas Tech had I remembered that Virginia was the same team that got put out in the first round last year, the first team to ever do that. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, and I didn't know that was them. So I was like, okay, I'm happy that they won now. Like, like they were the first team ever to get put out in the first round last year, and they responded, and they were down in the first round this year by double digits. Like, so it was in their head, and then they came up out of it, and came back and won that game, and then after that they were good. Like, they played a lot of close games after that, but the fact that they almost got put out in the first round again as a number 1 seed, and then. I guess they was like, not this time. But yeah, like, so I was like, all right, good for them. I'm happy that they was able to redeem that. Like, so, but the game overall was really good. Like, they thought there was like, this game is gonna be low scoring, blah blah blah, but they was hitting some threes all over the place in that second half. Like, both teams, like, and it was, like, that dude Guy, I forgot his first name, but his name is Guy for Virginia. He's the one that in the semifinals saved them. Who hit 6 points, scored 6 points in the last 9 seconds. They were down, and he ended up winning the game. They were down by 5. They ended up winning by 1, I believe, and because he had 6 points in 9 seconds. And now they were talking about in this game there was I don't know if you saw a highlight or anything, but there was a call, out of bounds call, where Virginia knocked the ball out of Texas Tech's hand out of bounds. And usually, you see somebody knock the ball out of their hand, they keep the ball. You know what I mean? Because the guy was dribbling, he knocked it out of his hand, he kept the ball. They reviewed it, and they're saying that when he hit it, it still slipped off his hands, which it did, but and it was the right call. So I'm not having a problem with a controversy or anything like that. What I do have a problem with is when usually I would imagine that happens 9 times out of 10 when you knock the ball out of somebody's hands, that it still hits their hand before, you know what I mean? Unless you really like knock it out of there. But if you knock the ball out, I would imagine that it hits their hand almost every time. But they just chalk that up as keep the ball. He knocked it out your hand. You know what I mean? But they reviewed it, and it was like a 5-minute review. and I was thinking, like, they're not going to overturn that. That's just one of those things where you knock the ball out somebody's hand, you keep the ball. But Virginia had pushed for them to review it so hard that they reviewed it, and then they ended up overturning. And I was surprised. I was like, wow. Even though I saw what they saw, I was just thinking, like, wow, like that's one of them. That's just one of them things that I wouldn't have overturned, like, because it was hard. I saw it, but it's still very hard to determine on replay. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you got to be 100% sure, and I was sure, but I wasn't like all in on them overturning it. So I was thinking, like, is that a thing where that's gonna be the new thing where they're gonna start looking at something as simple as knocking the ball out of somebody's hands and to go out of bounds? Where, because I always looked at it as same thing with, like, say, a baseball play. Like, as long as you make it in time, they call on like a tag play, then they don't care about the semantics of you coming off the bag and stuff like that afterwards until replay came in. Now that replay is in play, they wait to see if you, like, say, on a stolen base, you slide in, and then you come off a little bit, and then they tag you. Like, before that was just like, you made it. Like, now everything is changing with replay. So it's like, I don't know how I don't necessarily really like that. I just I liked it when it was a lot more simpler. You know what I mean? So but the right call was made. You know what I mean? I can't argue it too much because the right call was made, and that's what they're. And in the end, that's what when I envisioned replay coming in. That's what I wanted. I wanted them to get it right. So, I don't know. I don't even know how to turn back now and say no, that was wrong. I mean, I can still change my mind, but I don't really. I still want them to get it right. So I don't know.
Well, the right team won. So I haven't cooled off with wanting Mr. Culver on my team. If we don't get the number one pick, if we get the number one pick, then
right.
If we get the number one pick and Zion Williamson doesn't come out,
like that, I'm not even gonna think about that because nobody can afford to make that mistake. Like nobody who gets the number one pick can make that mistake. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Golden State Warriors. If Golden State Warriors somehow got the first pick and they didn't draft Zion, they would get crushed for that. You know what I mean? Like,
look who got number 2 pick throughout the years, or like number 2 pick in 2003, and Detroit picks up
Dirk instead of Carmelo.
Darko Milicic instead of Carmelo.
I don't think that's as much of a sure thing as this is. Like, he's too big of a star to not.
Carmelo is one of the best freshmen.
But LeBron was number one. Like, you know what I mean? So LeBron took a lot of the shine. One of the best.
Like, you can't. If there's one thing you cannot take away from Carmelo, like you can talk a lot of shit about him, but it's one thing you can't. When that one season in Syracuse, he played the right way.
Yeah,
he played exactly the way he was supposed to play. He should have played that way in the NBA. Then that's when people were saying, if he would have played that way in the NBA, he'd have a title by now. Mm-hmm. He didn't score as much. He rebounded, played defense, and he was clutch. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't nowhere near as versatile an offensive player as he was when he got the NBA, where he was shooting threes and he was playing like a small forward.
Right.
And he was one of the best. You know what I'm saying? But like he was a sure thing at number 2. Like no one said that Detroit should have not picked him. And Detroit just said, okay, we're going to pick up this fucking foreigner. Okay. I'm like, all right. Okay. I think they would have won at least 2 championships with Larry Brown and Carmelo.
They would have beat the Spurs. Yeah, they would have beat the Spurs if they had Carmelo, I think.
Yeah.
That game, because that series was extremely close.
Not just with Carmelo, with Larry Brown.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With Larry Brown. And they still would have had Tayshaun Prince.
Right.
So, even if Larry Brown was being Larry Brown back in 2003, which he was, and he would have put Carmelo off the bench because he's a fucking rookie, and started Tayshaun Prince even though he's only came in a year before him.
Yeah.
He would still win a championship. He would still win probably 2.
For sure. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I just think Zion is such a big star. He's a must. He's like, there's no getting around that. Like, you're gonna get fired. If anybody would get fired if they don't pick Zion. Like, he's too big of a star this year. So it's he like you know how funny that is. If you know how Michael Jordan got drafted in 1984 at number 3. If Houston would have drafted Michael Jordan, the GM would have got fucking fired. Probably, because Olajuwon was one of the greatest players of all time, also. And then they would have been like, "Oh wow, come back."
That would have been funny.
Right.
It's like you pick Michael Jordan. Everybody in the Houston Rockets would be like.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Because who knew the Jordan would be at that time would be the greatest player of all time.
There's something about that guy. There's something about him. And he would have picked him. He'd be like, hey, "You're fired. Get the fuck out of here. You're fired." And then they'd be trying to trade that motherfucker.
Oh my god, that'd have been tragic.
That'd have been fucking just that. Also, Michael Jordan just comes out and averages like 40 points a game his first season.
For like who? For the Denver Nuggets.
Like, So he started getting trade offers. Like, all right, hold on for a minute.
Like, hold on. Let's see how this pans out for All right. One more really quick thing. We're about to close this up, but one real quick thing is we talked about how Wade was celebrated. We talked about how Dirk was celebrated. Like, they had great careers. They're the first ballot Hall of Famers. But in Cleveland, for some reason, Channing Frye, I don't know. I guess I don't know if he's gonna retire. But they said it's his last game in Cleveland, and then you see everybody all happy about Channing Frye. I'm like, Channing Frye only been in like 4 seasons, and
they are trolling. That's all they are doing. They're just trolling.
Oh, I hope you're right. 'Cause I didn't even consider that. Maybe they didn't have no video set up for him, nothing like that. But like they was all crowding around him and jumping on him and shit. I was like, this is Channing Frye. Like, y'all like him that much?
Well, he does have a popular podcast, Channing Frye.
But it just seemed like he was a little too much.
I think he has a podcast with Richard Jefferson. They both have a podcast together.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I know Jefferson does have one. I didn't know it was with Channing Frye. But yeah, I just thought it was weird that that they liked him that much to give him a like a little send off or whatever. Like, I was like, that's he didn't even play there his whole career. He was only there for 4 seasons. He was a backup the whole time. Like, all right, whatever. Like, just they didn't even do that.
People just being trolls. That's all. It's like you know what I'm saying. Like they're doing that for effect. You know what I'm saying. Like it's kind of like that the same thing they did with the same thing they do in the NBA. What's that redheaded player? He's played for Boston, the Lakers. You know what I'm talking about?
He's still in the league?
No, he's been retired. Jesus Christ! I know he played for Boston.
Scalabrine?
Yeah, it's the same thing they do with Scalabrine. You know what I'm saying?
He's like a fan favorite type.
They just pick a random player who's playing for some of these teams, and then they celebrate him for no reason at all.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's stupid. I have no idea why, but
I just thought Channing Frye was. I thought it was weird for it to be Channing Frye. Like, he wasn't even a fan favorite. So that's what.
Scalabrine wasn't a fan favorite.
No, Scalabrine was a fan favorite, but like Scalabrine was that guy that they just liked no matter what. Like Channing Frye, did you know that they even cared about Channing Frye in Cleveland? Like, I knew Scalabrine at the time was a fan favorite, so I would get that type of trolling. Like Channing Frye, I just didn't. I don't get it. Even with the trolling situation, I didn't get it. Like, I don't know, but whatever. I guess I can't understand everything, but I don't get it. I really don't get it. But congratulations, Channing Frye. He was our first illustrious career.
2005. And I thought he was going to turn out to be something, but he never turned out to be as good as I thought he was going to be.
Well, he turned out to be a nice role player on a championship team, but the Knicks tried to make him something he wasn't.
Which was a starter.
Right. Not just a starter, but they were trying to make him bulk up and play back to the basket. I'm like, but that was at that time. I guess that was still during that time where shooting didn't take over the league yet, so they were trying to make they try to make every big man into that back to the basket type. Now you wouldn't even dare do anything like that. Like, if you could shoot, that's what you want. You know what I mean? So
and they tried to make Jamal Crawford into a starter, but he really wasn't.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Jamal Crawford's still in the league, and he just had 50 points. He's the oldest player ever to have 50 points.
He just had 50 points?
Yeah, last night he had 50 points.
For real? Yeah, I didn't even hear about that.
When Dwayne Wade played the Suns, Jamal Crawford had 50 points in that game.
Wow. Yo, Jamal Crawford, that's my dude. He's one of my favorite players of all time. I'm just a fan. I'm just a Jamal Crawford fan.
He's just a basketball like
he was a humble dude who had a street game. Like,
and the funny thing is, how LeBron says he wants to stay in the league till his son can play. Jamal Crawford's son is 20 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. He's gonna do it before LeBron. LeBron's gonna be pissed when his son gets drafted.
he's gonna be. LeBron's gonna be going. Jamal Crawford's probably gonna be still averaging like 15 points a game.
I know, off the bench.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be top 10 all time scoring because he's gonna play forever.
Him and Vince Carter just won't go away.
Yeah, Vince Carter is the last player from the '90s still in the league.
For real? Wow. Yes. So Jamal Crawford was drafted in what, 2000?
Yeah, he was drafted in 2000. Yep.
Okay. Wow. All right, so I guess we need to wrap this up.
Congratulations, Kofi Kingston, for winning the WWF Championship.
He's the first black champion or some shit they said.
Yeah, he would be the. I would guess he would be the first black champion. He's pretty. He's our age. He's 38 years old.
They never had a black heavyweight champion.
Well, they had The Rock, but he's half black.
Oh, he's from Africa, right?
Who, Kofi Kingston? Yeah, he's from Ghana. He's from Ghana.
Yeah, that's what they say. He's the first African-born player. I mean, wrestler.
No, he's the first. He'll be the first. He'll be the first black. Period. Like The Rock is half black, but he's Samoan. You know what I'm saying? There have been plenty of Samoan champions. Like there's a lot of them. You know, right. But like Yokozuna, Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying?
Never had a black.
They never had black world champion. WCW had black world champions. They had Booker T and Ron Simmons and.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of Booker T. I was like, okay, so he won it. So he was WCW when he was WCW champion. Yep. I was about to say that hood dude. I couldn't think of his name. Booker T.
Well, he just made the Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yeah, Booker T.
He don't fight no more.
It's the second time he made it by himself, and he made it with his brother with Harlem Heat. So with Stevie Ray.
You don't fight no more.
What happened?
You don't fight no more.
Nah, he's been retired. Booker T's in his 50s at this point. He's pretty old.
He just made the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he made the Hall of Fame again this Saturday.
Why is Bret Hart just making
with his brother? Well, he made this is the second one too. Bret Hart made it by himself.
This is the Hart Foundation one.
This is one he made it with the Hart Foundation.
But why is that just not happening?
The Hall of Fame isn't really that old. They don't really put a lot of guys in every year. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to gather a lot of people to put in, so they'll say, okay, who would be good to put in now? Like they have to put it in right before WrestleMania, so they just like this process just started. Okay. So you know what I'm saying? Like next year, like they put the Honky Tonk Man in this time. He don't deserve to be in the fucking Hall of Fame. They put you don't know, a female wrestler they put in who doesn't deserve to be in.
They put Scary Sherry.
Tori Wilson, Sherry Martel. Yeah, I think she's in. Well, she'll be in with Harlem Heat because she was their manager in WCW, so she'll be in with them. And when Booker T was up, he said who she deserves to be in with us. So I guess she's not in by herself, but she's been dead for about how many years? She's been dead for almost 12 years.
Yeah, she is dead, isn't she? Said, I can't keep up with all the wrestlers that are dead or alive. I assume, I do assume that if you mention an older wrestler, I assume that they're probably dead.
Well, Hulk Hogan's not dead.
Right. Well, him I know.
Bad. Too bad he's not. But he came out. He is a fucking racist. But he came out at WrestleMania and. If you notice, Bruiser Barber Beefcake made the Hall of Fame, who he should not have made the fucking Hall of Fame. Because the reason he made the Hall of Fame is because they wanted Hulk Hogan to come out and put him in. And because Hulk Hogan is his best, is one of Hulk Hogan's friends. He carried Hulk Hogan's weed. Like when Hulk Hogan was just a guy on the beach, he had Ed Leslie, who was Bruiser Barber Beefcake, would carry his marijuana for him. So he wouldn't get arrested with it, right? Wow. That's his guy. So you see like all the wrestlers in the crowd, the black wrestlers that want Kofi Kingston. He's with the New Day. They were in the front row, and the reason they're in the front row on the camera side is because they act real crazy whenever things happen. When Hulk Hogan came out, they sat in their fucking hands. They didn't do a goddamn thing when Hogan came out. Wow. So they did it on purpose because they don't forgive him for that.
Wow.
They did with everybody else. When Hulk Hogan came out, they were just standing. They were just sitting there. And
well, I guess he deserved that.
Well, like they don't want to give him anything, so I get it. You know what I'm saying? he got caught out doing it, and then he didn't apologize for it. He apologized for being caught.
Right.
So like, why should I? Like, if Vince wants to bring out that old fuck around back and forth in the locker room, I don't have to respect him. Fuck
right.
it.
Damn. It's it's crazy because me. I mean, yeah, I know what I know about him, but I don't even care. Like, I'm a Hulk Hogan fan. I always will be.
I can't be a fan of somebody who thinks of me a certain way. If I know
I understand that.
If I know that you think that I'm worth nothing, then fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be a fan.
I understand that. It's just ingrained in me. I guess I was such a Hulk Hogan fan. I just can't. I mean, I don't know. I just, I understand. It doesn't make sense, but I just,
you know what I'm saying? It's like him. It's like him calling you a nigga to your face.
Right, right. Maybe if I would have directly heard, because I heard about this shit, and I think I might have heard a clip of him saying what he said, whatever. For some reason, it's not hitting me that hard.
and plus, to be
maybe if I was still a wrestling fan, it probably would. But I'm way past wrestling. I don't. So I just remember what I remember about Hulk Hogan and how much I loved wrestling when he was part of it. So I can't.
That's all Vince. You know what I'm saying? Like, he pushed that guy to be the hero,
right.
And this guy is this, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's who he was. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, he's a piece of shit. And a lot of people say that behind the scenes about him.
Yeah.
But what you call the Ultimate Warrior, who passed away right after he got the day after he got put in the Hall of Fame, he died.
Damn.
That was like a couple years ago. So his wife, and Ultimate Warrior is kind of crazy.
Talk closer to the mic.
He changed.
Talk closer to the mic.
Yeah, Ultimate Warrior was kind of crazy. So he changed his name legally from Jim Hellwig to Ultimate Warrior. So his wife's name is like Lauren Warrior. That's her real name, right? His widow's name is Lauren Warrior. That's her last name, and she comes out every year. She gives out the Warrior Award to some kid who's in like the Make-A-Wish program or something like that. Mm. So she goes out and gives like that award to them, and. The funny thing is, like, she's an older woman at this point, blonde hair, skinny, like, and they had the Hall of Fame in the wrestling ring. So, like, when she comes out in a nice dress, and they play Ultimate Warrior's music, and she comes to the ring. I was like, shake the room!
No way. She cannot shake the room.
Yo, like, the crowd, you should have seen it when they had this music come on, right? And she was walking to the ring. I was like, she got high heels. Like, you gotta run. Like, the crowd was saying, do it.
She did not do that.
No, she didn't do it.
Okay.
She's not gonna do some shit like that.
Okay.
That would be fucking hilarious if she did it, yo.
Yeah, that would be crazy. But all right, we really need to wrap this up now. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, Joe.